WSOU 89.5 FM, the loudest rock. I'm Valentino, and I'm joined today with Rivers of Nihil. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, man. Good, man.
Doing good stuff. So let's just start off by going around and introduce yourself and what you do in the band.
Jared, I'm Jared. I play drums and sing.
I'm John. I play guitar.
I'm Brody. I play guitar.
I'm Jake. I do vocals.
I'm Adam. I play bass and sing sometimes.
And I'm Zach, and I play saxophone.
Good stuff, good stuff. So, first off, I'm going to ask you guys on tour with the Black Dahlia Murder. It's been an incredible tour. This lineup is crazy. After the Burial, Carnifex, a lot of good stuff. Tell me about how the show's been going.
Shows have been really awesome. Everything's been going along really smooth. Fans have been awesome. Everyone's getting their fix. Everyone's hanging out all night. We couldn't be happier. You know, it's really an awesome tour for not doing anything for so long. So we're glad to be out here with these guys.
Lots of sold out shows. I think if tomorrow sells out in New York, then half of the shows will have sold out. So it's been a one for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I know you're right. You know, we talked a little bit about it, but the pandemic, a full year of doing no shows, absolutely nothing. Tell me about, like, now that you're back on the road, does it feel like it's been a year of no shows, or does it feel like it's been like a few months?
It feels like we fell asleep on a plane coming home from Europe, and then we just woke up here again. It's just like sort of that whole period of time just sort of just gone, and then as soon as you get back in the van, and it's like just kind of like you're just doing this again. It's a little surreal in that way.
Except all the fast food lobbies are closed, and there's only drive-thrus now, but they still don't like walk-ups, so it's a little rocky.
Yeah, it's confusing sometimes. We don't know if it's closed.
Walmart.
Yeah. Some things have changed, but
Because Walmart is where we sleep at night most of the time. Yeah. And it's closed now.
cool.
No, I'm just saying what they were saying. Cool.
And I know that, like, touring has been a little different, obviously. You know, I've talked to a few other bands, and they say that it feels like the most, like, anti-social tour they've ever done. Because, like, you can't, like, hang out with the bands as much anymore, you know? There's so many restrictions, different things to happen. Have you guys noticed that, like, touring is just obviously very different internally as well?
A little bit here and there, but, you know, honestly, it hasn't been that crazy. You know, everybody's just, you know, doing things that make sense and, you know, trying to limit interactions with strangers to a degree, and that, you know, but we've all been, like, having a good time and being friends with each other and stuff, like, because, you know, it's a big important part of doing what we do is you know not, you know, dividing ourselves but so much, you know, so it's felt good, you know, like maybe at the beginning we've just kind of gradually gotten over a lot more hurdles, but it feels pretty social now. Everybody's having a good time, everybody's gelling. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I'm going to ask, I know, I'm sure you guys probably get this question a lot, but it's super cool. Unique element of Rivers of Nihil, the saxophone, heavy metal, deathcore, mixed with saxophone. Your new album, The Work, has some Saxophone Beef throughout as well. Live, tell me a little bit about how that dynamic is.
Well, since we weren't really totally sure how, you know, things were going to be with, like, you know, the reopening of stuff and whatnot in shows, Zach is actually, this is his first show with us on this tour. He's going to be playing tonight and tomorrow with us. But we've been running Trax Strauss, as we've been calling it, for the first part of the tour. But yeah, I mean, we love having Zach out with us, and we love playing with him live on stage. I recorded one of Zach's first bands many years ago. That's how we met, and it's always great when we get to do our thing together. And I think we creatively, you know, gel and make it happen. So we're always real stoked when he can make it out, and we can play some Wheedly Doots together. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I know I touched upon it. Your new album, The Work, is available everywhere now. It came out about 2 weeks ago. If you guys want to hear it, it's on all streaming services. Furthermore, on WSOU 89.5, you can hear Dreaming Black Clockwork, and you can hear Focus. So super exciting about that. Tell me a little bit about how this release has been, your 4th record. What's going through your heads?
It's been a different flavor of release for us. It feels like kind of the end of an era in some ways, because we've done this whole like quadrology thing where we've had each record as a season, and so we're wrapping it up here, and it's just on top of that, it's a very different record, and different in a lot all sorts of ways for this band. There's lots of things that you remember, but plenty of uncharted territory as well, and so it doesn't hit everybody exactly the same. I think for the people that are just looking for a repeat of our last 1 or 2 records, they're gonna have to dig a little deeper for that same experience, I think, but it's worth it, I'd say. Yeah, but so the release has been a little bit more mixed, but it's interesting to see that the more time people seem to spend with the record, the more positive the reactions seem to be. So that's kind of been cool.
And especially, I know, me personally, when I think of Rivers of Nihil, you guys are a very album band. I feel like everything you guys have done has been very cohesive, start to finish, even lyrically, instrumentally, all that stuff. And so now that people have the record to hear start to finish, I'm sure that also helps, people they start to like it more. They're not comparing it to previous records because they hear the full thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a record that makes the most sense taken as a whole, even if you I kind of like to say that it's a good record to put on in the morning when you're driving to work, and then you'll just get glimpses of it maybe through your lunch break, and then on your drive home, and then you wrap it up. I feel like it's good to take in throughout your whole day. So, but it's just we knew putting out these singles, people weren't gonna get the full picture right away, and now that it's out, seeing people kind of start to click with it more and more has been really cool.
Absolutely, and I know I mentioned a little bit lyrically, but I want to kind of dive more into that. Lyrically with this record, you guys have so many cool themes weaved throughout, and even just the title, The Work, being very, very prominent throughout almost every single song on the track. Tell me a little bit about what lyrically the themes you want fans to take away from this is, anything of that regards.
I mean, it's it's a record that was made in a really strange time for us personally, as well as the whole world. We weren't able to do our jobs, during, and we didn't know if we were ever going to be able to do anything like this ever again at points throughout, the making of this record. So, it may on the outside look like, oh, look at all this free time you guys have to write this record. But on the other hand, it's kind of this obstacle in what am I doing this for? Are we going to be able, if we make this record, are we just going to sit on it for the rest of our lives and never get to tour again? Who knows? It comes with a lot of self-doubt and worthlessness and all of this crazy feelings. You start to pick up pieces of what else am I good at in my life? How can I make ends meet? Because this is all we've ever known. This is all we really have. So to take that away, and it felt like there's some bitterness in the lyrics and the themes based on that, and it's just there's a lot of the world is such a cruel place when you just take everything all away, and you're kind of just left with what you have and what you've worked for, and it's a reflection on maybe the decisions a person makes in their life and what they do with them.
Beautifully put. Beautifully put.
That was deep. No, I'm just
Yeah, I love it.
lost in your words.
Exactly. And I know that, you mentioned that fans might think, oh, you got a ton of time to put out a record. What fans also don't see is, if you're in the studio, under normal circumstance, you can say, hey, put that guitar a little louder, a little softer, versus in the pandemic, email, hey, a little quieter. Is this good? A little softer. Okay, there. There's another layer of complication that, I feel like fans also don't, really get to see.
Yeah, we were wearing masks in the studio the whole time, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
and communicating
we were
post-recording,
we were fortunate enough that after we got done, beforehand there was a lot of like, Skyping back and forth and FaceTiming and stuff, because we couldn't necessarily get together the way we normally would. But then when we recorded the album, everybody got together for about 2.5 weeks, knocked it out. And then we lived close enough to the studio that after these guys all went home, I drove up there, a bunch of times, and just me and Carson, the producer, like just the two of us together basically sat there and mixed the record, and like, just like the two of us on our own, so it was like, it was like reduced amount of people in the room for sure, but I mean, we got it done, I think. Made it happen.
I hope so.
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah. Anyway, yeah. It was like a lot of back and forth, but yeah. I mean, I guess it took a while to mix it. A lot longer than it normally would have taken to mix a Rivers of Nihil record. But I think that just had a lot to do with the fact that like we had tons of time, and we would do a mix revision and then sit on it and see how we felt about it, and then go back and try again. So yeah, wasn't bad, but some awkward stuff, but it was mostly all right, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like it was mostly like the weight of the world kind of stuff going on while we were making the record.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the election was happening while we were in the studio, and like it's just like we're making this record. Like it's the cover. We're in this cottage, and the outside of the world is just a mess. And we're just in there trying to make this record, and the world does not want it to happen.
And there's trains.
The trains they need to keep running on time.
Exactly. And I know with like this tour, obviously, you're supporting this record, but also it's with the Black Dahlia Murder. Will there be a headliner tour for the work where you guys play more of the songs in full in recent?
I'd say that's a fair guess to make. Yeah, I'm sure that we would do that. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, again, thank you so much for joining me today. You can hear the record on WSOU 89.5, all streaming services. Definitely check out your merch store. I've got some of the most beautiful vinyl variants, gorgeous, of the new record. Super awesome. All right, thank you guys again.
Thanks, dude.